Stump the Shown that I'll host for you too. Pretty.
It's good. We're live. It doesn't have to be polished. We're good.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Do we play the music even if we're live?
I think
let's play the music. Let's play the music.
Hello and welcome everybody to the Twins Off Daily live stream. Hello. While we wait for the ball clubs to figure out what the heck is going on in Cleveland with the weather. I just know there's so many old heads right now, just furious at the weather over the last 2 days between Minnesota and Cleveland now. We're here to just talk with you about the Twins, see what's going on. And have a little fun here. I, Sweet Lou Hennessy, I'm here with the OG crew. To my left, we got Mr. Gregory Masterson. What's up, Greg?
Is it even not snowing? Is it even raining in Cleveland? Have we actually established that there is any rain coming down right now? Does anybody have eyes on this? Where are the fact checkers?
We got Ernie Pie high in the sky. He is saying that yes, there is projected to be some rain around.
I'm saying, is there rain? Has it rained? The game was supposed to start an hour ago. They could be in like the fourth inning right now. That's all Chris Paddock has in this arm. That's all that the Twins need.
That's a good point. And like you said, I don't think there are any actual raindrops falling. Besides Mr. Gregory T. Masterson, we also got Cody Schoenman out of the clink. What's going on, Jailbird?
Yeah, I went to jail, got released, and went back to jail, and then I got released again, I think, in a 2-week span. I'm not going to say what for, but it was a good time. I am rehabilitated, so... Yeah, speaking of weather, I live in Milwaukee, so I'm not really a Minnesotan right now per se. But did anything come of that huge storm that was supposed to hit the state a couple days ago? Did anything come of that, Lou?
If you're talking about last night, there was some storms that went north and south of the metro, but we here in the Twin Cities got spared by whatever special voodoo magic heat dome we have that goes over the cities here. So no, I did not get hit with hardly any rain, even to say nothing of any tornadic activity. But
so I heard there was going to be 15 tornadoes in the state. So
no, they guaranteed it. They guaranteed 15 tornadoes coming right from my house, and didn't even get hit with 15 raindrops. But what are you going to do? Anyway, speaking of being rehabilitated, the Minnesota Twins are suddenly right back in the thick of things here after going 5-1 over the last week. We want to break it all down for you, just chat a little bit about our reflections on the team. But let's start us off with the walk-off question. This is a little segment that we always start off our Twins Off Daily podcast episodes with, where we ask a question and we think about it for the rest of the episode. And at the end of the episode, we come up with our answers. And today's question is inspired by the film Sinners, which is out in theaters right now, which I just saw over the weekend. Absolutely loved it. Incredible movie. In that movie, the lead actor, Michael B. Jordan, plays two different characters. He plays twin brothers. So today's walk-off question is, if you could have any of the twins have an actual twin brother that could be with them on the field and play another position. So essentially, if you're cloning one player on the Twins, who would you pick and why? So we will try to answer that at the end of the episode.
Hold on, comments. If anybody has a submission, go ahead and leave that in the comments, and we will do our best to bring it up on the show.
Absolutely. Please let us know any of the thoughts that you're having about this crazy, wild live stream that we're doing here. But for right now, why don't we boogie on over and do a rapid recap?
Oh, no. Hold on.
I
was on the wrong page. Sorry.
Let's go on over and do a rapid recap.
My apologies. I was trying to make sure that the comments were coming through. Okay, we're good.
Not forgiven.
Classic. Anyway, the Minnesota Twins, like we said, had a very good week. They went 2-1 against the Chicago White Sox, and then they went and swept. Who else over the weekend?
The Anaheim Angels.
Close, guys. The California
of Los
Angels.
Angeles.
The California Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles. The Minnesota Twins swept them right out of town in a very, very strong series, which is exactly what they needed. Let's talk about it. Who's hot? Who's not? Who's caught our eye? Let's start with you, Greg.
Man, who is hot? I mean, the Twins are. I want to just give a shout out. Like the number of runs that have been scored in these past few games has been so exciting. I feel like possibly the most frustrating part of the beginning of the season was just that they did not score any runs. So like there are ways to lose games. One of the most exhausting ways to lose games is just not being able to score any runs whatsoever. So I did want to lead off with that. I also want to give a shout out to Bailey Ober and Joe Ryan over the last 2 days. We're able to really put it together, eat innings, managed to get through the last 2 games with only 4 pitchers, and the 2 relievers that they used were Jorge Alcala and Justin Topa, which are great arms to have as your low leverage guys, right. Honestly. But for them to go out there, and I think that Topa pitched 2 innings, Alcala did like an inning and a third or an inning and 2/3. We're able to stretch it out a little bit. That was awesome. I'm so excited that they have like basically a clean slate for their bullpen right now going into these next 6 games with Cleveland and Boston.
Yeah, and Cleveland is kind of at the opposite point right now. I think they had a doubleheader on Saturday and they had a relatively short start on Sunday. So their bullpen was looking pretty gas. Not to mention last night, didn't they have like 2 relievers leave injured or something? So, I mean, they already have their backs against the wall, and that's territory that the Twins are very familiar with when going to Cleveland. Just think about some of these series that they've had over the last few years where they've been like swept in 3 games in just heartbreaking fashion with walk-off home runs against the legend Emilio Pagan or even against Joan Duran. You know, we've seen a few just absolutely bonkers, heartbreaking losses over the last few years in Cleveland. So it's nice to be able to take the first one in such convincing fashion and set yourself up for the rest of the series. Cody, how about you, man? What's caught your eye over the last week?
You forgot to mention elite closer Tyler Thornburg too, Lou. You dismissed him. Wasn't that a walk-off home run? Wasn't that Andres Jimenez who had a walk-off home run off him?
You know, that sounds right. That sounds par for the course.
Brutal. Like Greg, I was going to say the whole entire offense because it pretty much is the whole entire offense. If you sort the team out in their last 10 games on Fangraphs, I think every single player besides Ty France and Edouard Julien has a WRC plus above 100. So like the whole entire offense is just, heating up right now. And even with that,
including Cody Clemens, who has a WRC plus of 790.
Yeah, which is sustainable.
Ooh, is that good? Is that good?
Yes. Anyway. His dad's Roger Clemens. That is sustainable. That will be par for course. So Twins have a great waiver claim there. Regardless, though, I mean, one guy who has stuck out to me is Jonah Bride specifically. He's been very, very good with the Twins so far. I think his WRC plus in Minnesota is like 300 over what?
212.
212. Yeah, it's absurd. But so there seems to be. I know on the broadcast they mentioned how his hands are lower in his batting stance, and that has resulted in him lining the ball to the pull side. Like that's all that he does. He kind of lines it past the third baseman or over the third baseman's head. I don't know if that's sustainable. It's probably not sustainable. But he was pretty good with Miami last year. I know he had a WRC plus in like the 115 range. So maybe the Twins actually found something there. I would not be surprised. It'd be nice to see him continue to produce. And but even other, role guys like Mickey Gaspers picked it up recently. So just the guys on the edge of the roster and a roster that is very thin right now with, Castro and Keishel getting injured and stuff like that. So, but also the stars and Correa's really picked it up lately. I know I mentioned this nonstop, but I wrote a piece called Carlos Correa is on the precipice of breaking out. I wasn't wrong. I was just early. So technically that take is correct. So I feel vindicated. Just every single unit of the team is working right now. Relievers, starters, and hitters are all humming at the same time. Twins base running is sound. The fielding has been good too. So I think this team really could just, go on a streak right now, which would be great and very similar to last year.
From what I'm hearing from you, Cody, the Twins may never lose again. They are firing on all cylinders. There's clearly no weak spot, and there never will be. Okay,
Exactly.
well,
Yep.
That's great. What do you think? Do we have any? Oh, well, we got some comments right here from JJY. We have thought you guys were supposed to be at Mortimer's. Yes, there is a Twins daily watch party for tonight's game. It's in a delay. So is this maybe Big Twins Daily putting a delay so that they can up their concession sales at the watch party? People are saying
DJ's glove repair is getting more people walking by with broken gloves.
Yes. Exactly. This is all for DJ glove repair or DNL glove repair.
But yeah, if you are in the Twin Cities, head down to Mortimer's. I'm not in the Twin Cities. Cody's not in the Twin Cities. Lou, I don't know what to say about Lou, but
I'm dedicated to the game, man. I'm here to live stream, baby. All right. Well, I would love to be at Mortimer's. Those Twins daily watch parties are super fun. If you do live in the Twin Cities and you have a chance whether to get down to Mortimer's tonight or to come to our next one, they're a blast. We hope to see you there. I usually do end up going to most of them. So you can come up to me, get my autograph, take a picture with me, whatever. It's all good. Let's go over to another comment that we have here. The first one that came in, we're just going to pull that up here from Ryan Case. He said, too bad there's no easy choice reliever to send to St. Paul with them being so rested right now. McCusker would be fun with more of an old school 5-man bench. I don't know. There's one person here who's a massive fan of Mr. Carson McCusker. What do you think?
Who are you calling massive?
Yeah, who are you calling massive?
No, I would love. I don't know. I don't think that there's really a great fit right now with McCusker. I think it's ridiculous right now that they do have the bench that they do, where they've got Vasquez, and then beyond that, at least one of the four of Kersey, Gasper, Bride, and Clemens are going to be playing every single day. And then, one or two of them are also going to be playing to give guys a rest. It is a very funny, weak bench that's made up of break glass in case of emergency and bit players. I don't know. I keep talking myself in and out of McCusker fitting better. However, I will say when Royce Lewis comes back and they don't need all of this infield depth, I would love to see McCusker come up, because they don't have a bench righty. They don't have like a real, I don't know, maybe Bride is going to pull through, but right now they don't have like a ton of like bat first guys off of the bench, and the guys that they do have on the bench aren't exactly like slick fielders. So like pick a lane, I guess. I would love to see McCusker come up very soon. Man,
why do I feel like Greg just has a bootleg Cody Clemens Twins jersey just waiting in his cart right now for when he's, let's be honest, likely DFA'd at some point and removed from the roster, and he'll just be another one that got away. I can't wait to see it at the next Twins Daily Winter Meltdown.
I also just want to state, I am a larger person than Carson McCusker. Just wanted, in case anybody was wondering, I don't think I've ever brought this up, but I'm a larger person than Carson McCusker.
Sure, Dan. Sure.
Laterally and vertically.
All right.
Wow.
So
can I rebuttal Greg really quick? Not for the sake of a bit. I genuinely, the Twins have gone to great lengths in times where depth is thin to not purchase McCusker's contract. With players like Castro coming back soon, I don't think McCusker is going to play for the Twins this year. They've gone to pretty extreme.
No, that's crazy. This year?
Or next.
Whoa.
Next.
Whoa. Come on now.
Nothing against him personally. They've gone to very extreme lengths to not promote him. So I don't see him being a part of their plans.
Have they? Extreme links. It's been a month though. I don't know.
They've lost one outfielder.
They chose Bride over him. They chose Clemens over him.
Clemens can play the infield.
Yeah, but then they also promoted Gasper again too. So they have three infielders.
Because he's on the 40.
Yes, understand.
They had a 40-man spot though.
But they had to, use a 40-man spot for Bride and Clemens too.
Well, yeah, and when Clemens is gone, there's going to be a 40-man spot.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see what happens. I would love to see the big guy up in the Twins uniform at some point, and I think it will happen. Maybe not in the imminent future. I think Cody, you're onto something there, but I think it happens this year. I gotta think. Well, yeah, it's gonna happen tonight. Now that we're talking about it, that's just how it rolls.
I was being hyperbolic. I also think that Kersey Jr. might be due for a demotion soon too. It is fun when he and Bader and Buxton are in the outfield together, but I think that only can stretch so far. And, with Castro coming back, you'll have the option of another corner outfielder. I wonder if the Twins are like, he can't produce offensively whatsoever, and he's a lefty, which should help against, when you're facing majority righties, but he just can't seem to, hit the ball in play rarely even. So I wonder if a team elects to demote him soon once some guys get healthier, like Lewis too, as well.
Yeah. It's certainly electric to see him come in as a defensive replacement and, like you said, have that elite defense in the outfield. I'm just trying to count right now how often that's actually benefited the team. Maybe it's happened a couple times, but when you look at his offensive output, you're hoping for a little more from somebody there. Anyway, let's talk more about some of the other comments we're getting here. Let's go with friend of the show, Peter Labuza. Cody, I'm going to direct this one to you. Feel like the off part of the Off Day podcast is getting stretched thinner and thinner, just like how easily America is creeping into fascism. So do the Twins Daily podcasters break and bend the rules. What do you think about that one, old Comrade Cody?
Oh yeah. So since the new season started, we have found that due process is optional. So we just kind of, get to make podcasts whenever, we feel like it, Twins off daily, Twins on daily, we get to say when it's on, when it's off. Nobody else can decide that. So we get to choose it, and we get to tell you what day is off and on, and you have to.
Cleveland is trying to make this an off day for us.
Yeah.
This isn't ours. We did not choose this. This was thrust upon us. And as good red-blooded Americans, we pick it up and we carry it and we do what we need to.
Yes,
John F. Kennedy once said, ask not what your baseball team can do for you, but ask what you can do for your baseball team.
One of your worst accents. One of the worst.
Yeah, I slipped into it accidentally. I meant to say it in Greg voice, but then the JFK started coming out.
You also made fun of him multiple times on this podcast too.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that on a live stream. People have to wait till the end of the show to hear about those jokes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, how about this? Let's move over to the next comment that we have here, and that is: do you think the Twins will extend Bailey Ober soon? That's a good question. We've only seen the Twins extend two starting pitchers in this regime, right? We've only seen them extend Pablo Lopez and Chris Paddock, which those two kind of don't have much in common, so it's hard to find any sort of trend or anything like that. But Ober's
used to both have elite changeups.
Yeah, that's true. Bailey Ober has become an absolute dog, though. I mean, he has become just a foundation of that starting rotation. I'm not even sure what an extension would look like, though. Do you guys think there's any chance that it happens, or what would it look like?
I'm double checking how old he is. He's turning 30 this season.
I would love for the team
2 years afterward. So yeah, I was just setting the stage. I think that he has 2 years after this. So they have him under team control until he turns 32. I don't know if that's his age 31 or 32 season. I don't remember the cutoff. He has a July birthday. I don't know. I struggle to see the Twins extending Bailey Ober or Joe Ryan or Pablo Lopez beyond what they have, just because I'm patently just against extending a pitcher into his mid-30s. I said kind of the same thing when Sonny Gray was potentially due for an extension or whatever. I feel like as a rule, it's just not a great idea.
I think that's very
as much as I love Bailey Ober.
Yeah. Not to mention just the dearth, just the how many starting pitchers they have ready and waiting in the pipeline, and the ability that they've shown to draft and really develop these guys into a really, really strong group. That, we have Zebby coming up, we have Andrew Morris coming up, we have David Festa, who's already, showing that he can get some big outs for us. I'm not sure if I see it either. It'd be fun to see, because I love watching Bailey Ober pitch, and he just seems to get better each and every season.
Yeah, I would love to extend Ober and Ryan. I don't think it would be under this ownership. So maybe if there's a new group purchases a team, maybe this upcoming offseason that could happen. I also think there's this perception within Twins fandom where the Ober and Ryan are still young pitchers who could be extended on these cheap deals that will benefit the Twins for long term. Something that Jason DeWitt, Spencer Strider got with Atlanta a couple years ago. But I mean, in reality, Ober and Ryan are nearing 30. These aren't young guys anymore. And from a wear and tear perspective, they're definitely not young guys. I mean, we already saw Ryan have a major arm injury last year. Knock on wood, hopefully doesn't happen with Ober, but it could happen soon. His velo has dropped this year. He's still productive, but I mean, overall, I don't think it probably would not be in the team's best interest to extend either of them. And they do both have multiple years of control left. So the Twins are in a really good spot, but I don't see them extending Ryan or Ober.
Honestly, to put it in perspective, at least what I think that they would do, I find it much more likely that Bailey Ober is traded before the beginning of next season. I feel like that's much more likely than an extension. Also, I just got a DM from the question asker daring me to pronounce his name, and I apologize. I don't know that I've ever said it out loud, but is it Tieres? I don't know.
That's how I would guess. I haven't heard it out loud either, but I would guess Tieres. Please correct us if we're wrong. Please, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, Twins Brazil.
Yeah, Twins Brazil. You do a great job. We love having you, buddy. Okay, well, how about this? Any minor leaguers that have caught our eye over the last week?
Yeah, Carson McCusker.
Who? Yeah, Greg, go for it. Who's caught your eye?
Oh no, Carson McCusker. I'm not. I had this conversation like a week ago. I'm not going to do it again. Just call the man up. I just want to see a big dude hit dongs. He's still hot. They had him on the broadcast. Did you guys see this? They had him on the Twins broadcast, sitting down with Tim Laudner and whoever the co-host was that day.
Yeah.
Just teasing us. Oh, you put on a jersey and go downstairs. This is over. Just let him be a Twin. Come on.
That'd be fun. I think he would instantly be a fan favorite, just from the size standpoint. Cody, what do you think?
You guys want to hear my Tim Laudner impression?
No.
Do we?
Wait, okay. Greg, ask me a question about Cody Clemens.
What do you expect to see from Cody Clemens?
See, what we got here is a guy who's just looking for an opportunity. He wants to get into the ball game. You ask him to come into the ball game, he's going to try to hit the ball. And if he hits the ball, his teammates are going to like him. So what you got is a guy who's just looking for an opportunity.
Dude, Cody, you might have a future as a pregame and postgame host.
Thank you.
Look out, Timmy Laudner. Wow, that was fantastic. Way to go.
Thank you.
Way to go.
Thank you.
But Cody, while we're on the subject, you can do it in your normal voice. You can do it in your Lottie voice if you want. Any minor leaguers that have caught your eye recently?
Yeah, so there's a pair of lefty relievers in St. Paul that have been on my radar for the whole season. Well, not the whole season, for one guy, Richard Lovelady, because he was in Toronto before he was with the Twins. But I'm really intrigued by Richard Lovelady and Anthony Misiewicz. I think that's how you say his last name.
Yeah, it sounds right.
I am intrigued by him, but I don't know how to say his name. So, but yeah, no, they are two lefty relievers who have really impressed at AAA. I could see them honestly being ahead of Funderburk on the organizational depth chart at this point. But Danny Coulombe's been amazing with the Twins, so it's not like they're in need for a lefty reliever. But if that 8th spot opens up, or if somebody gets hurt, I would probably expect Lovelady or Misiewicz to earn the opportunity and probably do well with the Twins, because they have been really good this year, consistently. So I'm excited about those two, even though they are, vets over 30, I think, for both of them.
Yeah, so there's a chance that we do see them, but I also just love the Twins' strategy, or the layout of their bullpen right now. When if you have somebody like Louis Varland throwing as well as he has been, you don't necessarily need another lefty. You know what I mean? You need high leverage, good relievers before you need the matchup based ones, especially if you have at least one really good left-handed option like they do in Coulomb, who's man, he's just been bones. He's like I trust him in late and close situations. I trust him early on in high leverage stuff. He's been very fun to watch, and he's been worth every penny of the $3 million contract that he signed with them. That's I don't know. Any other minor leaguers catching our eye? It's hard when Keishel got promoted and then hurt instantly. Classic. And then Emmanuel Rodriguez has been on the shelf for the last week too. Jose Miranda on the IL with after hurting his hand, picking up some water or something. Sure, if that's really what we want to believe. I don't know. Any other minor leaguers catching our eye? I think Zebby's kind of still very impressive, and I think people are really excited to see Zebby Matthews up at some point. I think Festa's pitching as we speak. Or he was starting one of the games in Columbus today, so we're going to see those starting pitchers coming up soon. I'm excited to see how that all shakes out. Anybody else we want to bring up before we move on to the next segment here?
So recently, Diego Cartaya was DFA'd or DFA. And he was taken off the 40-man and outrighted to AAA. So he's still in the Twins org. Jair Camargo hasn't really done well either, but the other catcher, Patrick Winkle, actually has impressed this year at AAA. So I wonder, again, to bring up organizational depth chart, I wonder if Patrick Winkle is above Cartaya on the catching depth chart and if he could maybe jump Camargo soon. But Camargo does have a 40-man spot, so probably not. But Winkle is off to a pretty decent start in St. Paul, so he's someone to keep an eye on. He can also DH and play first too, but he's been in the org for a while. He went to college at UConn, so very interesting lefty.
Cool. Okay, good to know. We'll keep an eye on him for sure. Let's see. Real quick, we have a comment from Ryan again who says, anyone remember that early Liriano start against late Roger Clemens? Good times. I love how he says late Roger Clemens, like Roger Clemens died. He's still living, right? he's still alive.
Yeah, he's still pitching for the Sugarland Skeeters, I think.
No, he's not. No way. That would be a lot of fun though. Maybe he's a Twin fan now. Also, when Cody Clemens got acquired by the Twins, I feel like he should get first dibs at jersey number 21. I feel like if you have a father who was a perennial all-star, known as one of the best of all time, controversy aside, I think you should get first dibs at that jersey number. I think that would have been cool. So, but Kersey, no.
I am anti-nepotism, so I don't even think he should have a job.
Ooh.
Okay.
Well, he barely does. I mean, he came into pinch hit in a 11-1 game against position players pitching. Anyway,
I mean,
John
he is
Lano
putting up Diego A. Castillo numbers right now for the Twins. Is he the new Diego Castillo?
Twins legend. John Lano here says, you guys need someone to fill time. I can do a killer Gregg impression. We need to see that eventually.
Sorry, is this a real invite? Like John Lano, if you are being serious, I think we can try to get you in here.
Doesn't John doesn't he do like professional voiceover work? I want to say. Yeah. Maybe I'm getting him confused with other Twins fans that are chronically online like the rest of us. But anyway, I would love to hear a good Gregg impression, especially after all the garbage impressions he has put us through.
Horrible. Awful.
Oh, what the heck?
What the heck? Anyway, let's keep it moving here. We'll try to hear back from John to see. Okay, he says I can't come on now, but I will. So eventually we will have John, friend of the show, on, and he can give us, or he can send us a recording of his Gregg impression. That would be a lot of fun. But for right now, let's boogie on down to our next segment here. It is everybody's favorite, and it is Gregory's Gripes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is our first live gripe session. Mr. Gregory, you always have something grinding your gears. This is your chance to get it off your chest. What do you got for a gripe this evening?
This might be controversial, but I think that there needs to be more roundabouts in this world.
I agree.
I do too.
So, okay, cool. So actually, I graduated college. Yes, I went to college at one point. It cost 19 cents per semester. But one of my closest friends is a civil engineer. Nothing gets him more excited than a roundabout. So I'm in his camp on this. So I work like 2.5 miles away from where I live. It's down a single street that you can go 40 miles an hour down. And every single day it takes me 25 minutes to go these 2.5. I live in like a small-ish town. Like I don't live in a city, but it's because there are just so many poorly timed stoplights. And it is so annoying. Every single time I get through a stoplight, I'm immediately hitting the back of a line for the next stoplight. I will sit on this road for 25 minutes as I go like maybe 2 miles. I think that there needs to be more roundabouts. And I think that the people who are against the roundabouts should just have their licenses revoked, because we all know why people don't like roundabouts. And it's because it's new and scary. Except that it's not new and scary anymore. They've been around for like 25 years, and there are still people who are complaining about the lack of, or just the presence of roundabouts. There are so many places in modern America where a good roundabout would make traffic so much nicer, and we can't have it. There needs to be more roundabouts, fewer stoplights.
Yeah. I love when people complain about like, I don't know what to do at a roundabout. It's like, my friend, there is one sign. It's a yield sign. You should know what the yield sign means. Like that's one of the first things they teach you in driver's ed. No, I'm with you, man. It keeps everything moving. If everybody has their eyes open and they're scanning the road like they're supposed to, instead of driving with horse blinders on, like some people seem to, it shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue. So I think this is a very valid gripe.
Yeah. Anyway, this reminds me of when I was growing up. The big controversy in my town for like several years was that they wanted to put a stoplight on the road, the first stoplight in our town, because 3 people died within like 2 months at this single intersection. And it took them like 3 years to convince enough of the town to sign off on it, so that we could have our first functioning stoplight. It was like that's small town stuff, man. And now you know what? I'm on their side. I don't want to see any more stoplights. Give me the roundabout.
Yeah. All right. Maybe this will lead into another gripe too, but we got a comment from Brendan K, who says, "What is the conspiracy tonight? No rain, and we're delaying this game 2 hours plus for what?" Brendan, great gripe. This is terrible. I think how it still goes is that the home team decides when the game starts, or if there's going to be a delay. And then once the game starts, I think it's up to the umpire crew to decide when the game is like paused or postponed or whatever. So this is very fishy from the Cleveland front office, if they are pulling some strings here and having a little bit of a conspiracy going on. I don't know, maybe they're trying to give some extra rest to Tanner Bybee, their planned starter. I don't know, guys, what do you think? What's the conspiracy?
I mean, we're now an hour and a half into this, and apparently there's still like not even rain. Like there's gonna be rain in the next maybe hour or so. What the heck are we doing? I don't understand this. This is actually like ticking me off. It's grinding my gears, man. Yeah. This is I don't know. Like between this and the silly delay of the delays that they put in yesterday, trying to slow down the game, and the 2 innings of position player pitching, I am so sick and tired of the Cleveland Guardians right now. Like this season has just begun, and I want to strangle them.
Yeah. Okay, quick comment from Peter Labuza. Back again. He says, every time I hear Tanner Bybee, I hear Homer Simpson seeing the possum family and saying, I call the big one Bitey. That's going to be all I hear from now on, too. This one goes out to all the Simpsons fans out there. Peter, thank you for sharing that. That is great. Okay, well, Greg, good gripe. Cody, you got gripes you want to throw out there before we move along?
Not a gripe, really, but I know Tanner Bybee eats Chipotle before every start, like the night before.
Does he?
So maybe his tummy hurts because Chipotle hurts your tummy apparently, which it never has for me, but that's kind of a thing that people say. So maybe his tummy. And then they're like, we gotta get Bybee out there because Eunice hurt his leg and Seawald's out. We can't be, having Bybee out early. I don't know. I'm just kind of talking at this point. But yeah,
the big one, Bybee. That's great, Peter. Thank you for that.
Cody's out here filibustering. Yeah. Like we've got to keep talking until this game starts, and there's no.
We're gonna be talking for like 3 hours here. That's.
I used to think
Brother's gonna take out his copy of Green Eggs and Ham by the end of this. Just. I do not like them, Sam. I do not like green eggs and ham.
I do not like these delays. All right. Well, okay. Well, how about this? That was a good gripe session. Why don't we boogie on down and we will do a fun little game. Let's go on over to the closer. Hey, so for today's edition of the closer, Greg, can you pull up any sort of just Excel spreadsheet?
Oh dear, hold on. Yeah, I will.
Yeah. No rush. I'll explain the segment here. So on the closer, on the Twins Off Daily podcast, we play a fun little game at the end of every episode. It's a rotating game. We have a few different ones that we like to throw out there. One of our favorites is Stump the Shown. Cody, you want to give us a quick little explanation of how we play Stump the Shown?
Yeah, so it was inspired by Stump the Schwab. Howie Schwab, he died like over a year ago now. It's still sad for all of us. But pretty much, Lou picks a category, right? You are going to be the one picking the category today. And then Greg and I have 3 chances to pick a correct player or whatever that fits with the category. And then the third person to get the third out loses, right? So then you are the shown in a way, even though I'm the shown. But we're trying to
stump you.
Yes. I messed that last part up. Yes, we were trying to correctly pick who belongs in the category, and we get 3 chances.
So technically, this is going to be Greg trying to stump the shown on this category that I know the answers to, but the other 2 do not. So Greg, we're going to need 18 lines here. All right. There are 18 players on this list. The list that we have now is the Twins hitters with the highest wins above replacement total since 2019 when Rocco started managing this team. So 18 players, they each have a minimum of 400 plate appearances, and we are going with the highest win above replacement level for each of these 18. So I think you guys will probably need a few strikes too, so we'll keep track of those as well. But why don't we start with Greg? You start us off here. A player who has a high WAR total.
Byron Buxton.
Buxton, yes, he is number 1.
Is this F WAR or R WAR?
This is F WAR. This is on Fangraphs.
I prefer Vorp.
Yeah,
Vorp?
big Vorp guy. Nelson Cruz.
Nelson Cruz, yes, he is number 5. Oh, sorry, Greg. I thought you were going to put them in order. Don't worry, though.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry.
I figured that later on that way you could see like, oh, we have one glaring omission, or this guy, you know what I mean? This guy's better than this guy. Anyway, Nelson Cruz, number 5, and then you have the next guess, Greg.
Yeah, Correa.
Correa, yep, he's number 3. He already has 11.1 WAR with the club.
Wow. Kepler.
Kepler is number 2 at 12.5.
Wow.
I'm going to guess that the 4 spot is Jorge Polanco.
It is. Yes, that's correct. Jorge Polanco with 11 on the dot.
Jeffers.
Jeffers is number 6.
Right. So this includes 2019.
Yes, since the beginning of the 2019 season.
Miguel Sano.
Should the Twins sign Miguel Sano? Yes, he's number 13. In those seasons that he was with the club, he accumulated 3.2 wins above replacement.
Okay. I'm guessing Rosario's on here.
Let's see. Eddie Rosario. He is not on the list. No, that is your first strike.
All right, I'm going to go with Mitch Garver.
Yes, Mitch Garver is number 8. Okay. Just real sidebar, real quick. Cody, there's some names on this that I can't believe are above Eddie Rosario. But then again, I guess he wasn't with the Twins too much beyond 2019, 2020. Okay. Sorry, continue.
Luis Arias.
Luis Arias. Yes, he's number 7.
Okay. Royce Lewis.
Royce Lewis. Yes, he is number 12. He has accumulated 4 wins above replacement in his career so far in 152 games. So about a season's worth. That's a pretty good clip.
Kirilloff.
Alex Kirilloff is not on the list, unfortunately. Cody is he's got 2 strikes already here.
This is not
Greg?
good. Yeah, this is not good.
Matt Wallner.
Matt Wallner, he's at number 10. Cody, before you answer, I'm going to give you just a little bit of a clue here. We are still, let's see, there are at least 2 players who are still on the Twins right now.
Okay. Larnach?
Larnach, yes, he is number 15.
Good.
15 at what? What WAR does Trevor Larnach have?
Trevor Larnach has 2.8 WAR.
Edouard Julien.
Yep, Eddie Julien is number 16. He has 2.8 as well.
I was gonna guess. Okay. I'm going on a limb here. Josh Donaldson.
Josh Donaldson is on the list. He is number 11. He had 4.3 WAR in 163 games. So, a full season worth between the 2 years that he was on the club. Actually produced pretty well for the Twins.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. That's
Okay, so what are we missing? We're missing number 9, number 12, and 17 and 18. Or wait, no.
Yeah. 9, 14.
Oh, 9,
17,
14. Okay.
18.
9, 14, 17, 18. Okay.
Okay.
One of them is
Kyle
still on
Farmer.
the Twins. No Kyle Farmer. Sorry. I know that he was right on the cusp. I think he might have been 19 or 20. All right. So Greg's got 1 strike. Cody has 2. How about this? If anybody's still watching this live stream, feel free to leave a comment if you have any guesses for these last few.
I know one of them.
All right, Cody, you're up.
Jose Miranda.
Dadgummit.
Not Jose Miranda. And that is your 3rd strike. Greg will get another chance here.
I want to guess another one because I think I have another one.
Too bad.
Okay.
This is F WAR, yes?
Yes, F WAR. There's
I
one.
know this guy had 3 B WAR. Is Gio Urshela on this list?
Gio Urshela is number 17. He had 2.6 WAR with the Twins in 144 games.
I have a couple more names. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jake Cave.
Jake Cave is not on the list. No, that's a bad name. You lost all your remaining.
Marwin Gonzalez.
Marwin is not the answer. Okay, so what are we're looking for 18, 14, and 9. Okay. Let's see.
Is Jason Castro on this list?
Jason Castro is not. No.
Sorry, I meant Willie Castro.
Willie Castro is number 9. He has 5.4 wins with the Twins already.
Crone?
CJ Crone? No, but you're in the right vein if you're looking for number 18 there.
Jonathan Scope.
Jonathan Scope had 2.1 WAR with the Twins in 121 games and barely finished the year with the club. Luis Arias just totally displaced him. Okay, so we're looking for number 14. Let's see. This player is currently in the same city as the Twins are right now.
Santana?
Yes, it is Carlos Santana. That is that is a good pull there. Okay. Well, you guys almost got there. Any reflections from this? Some things that stand out, like you said, Gio Urshela, Jonathan Scope. That's pretty crazy. I guess I didn't realize
Miranda isn't on there.
I'm a little surprised Mitch Garver is still just so high. Especially because his one really big standout year, he played half the games. So that's pretty surprising. But all right, that was a fun little addition. Fun little game of the closer here. please, I hope if folks liked this, if you liked hearing or playing this game, please send us some subjects that you'd like us to throw out there next time. I think this would be a lot of fun. But for right now, let's boogie on down. We'll say our goodbyes. We'll start wrapping this up. But before we do that, let's talk about our walk-off question that we introduced at the beginning of this stream. And that is inspired by the movie Sinners, which has Michael B. Jordan playing two roles, twin brothers in the movie. Which twin do you wish had an actual twin that could be on the team, as an identical, clone? Basically, anyone come to mind for you two, Greg and Cody?
Oh man, I think that it would be fun to have two Christian Vasquez's. I think it's amazing. No, it's awesome to have a true backup catcher. And as the biggest Ron Gardenhire fan in this room, I would love nothing more than to have two backup catchers on this team. That would be a lot of fun.
Might be the last player that I would have figured somebody would have said this.
That's Gabby.
Yep, get her in here. Get her in here. Yeah, that's the thing. Two Christian Vasquez, you get two of his wives too that are going to be part of the Twins organization. So get ready for that. Cody, anybody come to mind? I know you had a pretty funny note before the episode started.
What did I say? I forgot. Oh, was it Luke Keisha? Is that what?
Yeah.
And then one would have a working forearm that isn't broken, which would be nice. And then when the other Luke comes back, then you have two Luke Keishas. I would also two Pablo Lopez's, and you have two frontline starters. That'd be cool. Right?
I'm picturing with the Keyshaw thing, I'm picturing like one is solely used just to like replenish the main one. Like it's like instead of my sister's keeper, it's my sister's Keyshaw or something like that. But I don't know. That might be something to it. My initial thought was two Byron Buxton's, just because he's been the most fun to watch of anybody on the team, it seems like, so far this year. I always loved the idea of having Taylor and Tyler Rogers both on the Twins, actual twin brothers on the Twins, and I'm so desperate to see it happen at some point. But they're both getting pretty pricey and into their mid-30s. I don't think we're going to end up seeing that from those two brothers, but would have been fun.
You have two Rockos.
I know it would be a blast to have two of on this team. You guys thought that we were going to get out of an episode without checking to see if Chris Paddock is still a twin. I don't actually know, because there's too much rain in Cleveland these days.
Yeah, I can't see
it out. But apparently he is supposed to start tonight if this game ever starts. Cleveland, what are we doing?
What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Anyway, allegedly Chris Paddock is scheduled to pitch for the Twins tonight, which means Chris Paddock is still a twin.
Confirmed.
Back to you,
Good.
Confirmed that Chris Paddock is still a twin. All right. Well, I think that might be a good place to leave it. Thank you, everybody who joined this really impromptu live stream. I really think that we should do more of these. I think this was a lot of fun, and we love having the contributions from you all. Thank you all for your comments and your questions. I hope you do come back and ask more. And please tell your friends. Let everybody know this has been called the Best Twins podcast that you're not listening to multiple times online. So please share the love. Leave us a good review. Leave us a bad review if you want to. That's fine.
Yes.
We will absolutely read it live on one of these.
I will touch the stove just to know it's on.
Ooh.
Just to feel something.
Tank our Apple rating.
This has been fun. We've kicked around the idea of live streams, but we've also talked about, hey, if there's going to be like a rain delay that we didn't plan on for the Twins Off Daily podcast, what can we do? I would love to make this maybe part of our regular rotation. If there is going to be a rain delay or a rain out, instead of recording something, why don't we just jump on and shoot the breeze, have a little impromptu episode?
Yeah, let the listeners do all the work for us. That sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds like a really good idea. All right, Cody, Greg, anything you guys want to say before we leave? Anything you want to plug? Anything at all?
Greg said the most outlandish thing on today's episode. It was not me. So I would like to prove an earlier point that where Greg says, Cody says the craziest. No, it's Greg. Greg said the most outlandish thing today. So
what was the most outlandish thing?
The Nepo baby comment.
Ooh, okay. Real quick, Brendan K commented. He said it actually started raining in Cleveland. All it took was for us to get through a quick live stream here. So, Brendan, thank you, weatherman Brendan. Greg, anything you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I look forward to the Twins clobber-knocking the Guardians, going out there and clobber-knocking them again and again and again, clobber-knocking the ever-loving knockout of them.
Okay, I wish that this was not a live stream so that we could have added some like beeps to, you know what I mean?
A couple episodes ago, I did censor myself with a pretty convincing self beep. I don't know if you guys heard that, but
we're gonna have to put a beep button on for future
clobber-knocking.
Yeah. Hey, okay, that wasn't bad. All right. Well, very cool. Everybody, thanks again for listening. Please tune in to the next episode. We'll probably do it at the next actual off day. This will be a real off day podcast. But until then, thanks for joining and stay sweet.
Oh, wait, hold on. If anybody, wait, I'm going to be in Boston this weekend for the Twins games. So if anybody's in Boston, hit me up and buy me a beer.
Yes.
Take a picture of him and post it online.
Take a picture of his face. Reveal his face.
How dare you guys? Don't rile them up. The listeners just need a spark.
Yes, they just need a spark. All right. Well, I hope you all find it. Have fun in Boston and stay sweet, everybody.